Back now with our esteemed political panel, all CNN contributors, Republican strategist Ed Rollins, syndicated columnist Miguel Perez, and Errol Lewis, columnist with the New York Daily News. Good to have all of you with us, especially on the day after Thanksgiving. We have to continue talking about this story at the White House, the so-called party crashers, the security aspect of it. We just heard from the hairdresser and the makeup artist, which give us a personal angle. But Ed, I know that the security aspect alone, especially after your time working in the White House, really has you fired up. I find it hard to believe they could get in so easily.
Well, I find it absurd. And first of all, someone's going to pay a very heavy price. The Secret Service, it's a very professional organization, and they have had their reputation damaged. These people basically trespassed. They lied to a federal agent, who obviously the Uniformed Secret Service, they must have asked if they're on the list, and they obviously weren't. And how they didn't get stopped is beyond me. And the idea that you have a head of state, in addition to our own president, in this time of terrorism everywhere, and they weren't stopped is just beyond me. And I think they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So how does it happen, Miguel, though, that they did get past? There's been some criticism. The Secret Service has said, look, we take full responsibility, but there's been some criticism of the organization as a whole, that it's not the agents themselves, but perhaps the direction and the lack of funding. Could that be the cause?
Well, it was a huge party to begin with, outside on a tent, and maybe that had problems. Logistically, they had problems. But, you know, Erica, this says a lot about reality TV and the people that are associated with reality TV, and not just this couple in particular. I mean, who shot the pictures? Who shot their photos? I understand there's a production company talking to them. Housewives of D.C. How many housewives of D.C. tried to crash a White House party? Not too many that I know of. So this is, instead of reality TV, they should call it Unreal TV.
Which a number of those shows probably are rather unreal. How important is that aspect, Errol, do you think, to the story? This seeming quest for fame among so many people in this country, that 15 minutes.
Yeah, celebrity as opposed to, you know, disconnected from any actual achievement. I mean,
right.
the tattered records of their financial lives, the fancy cars they couldn't afford that have been repossessed, and the debts that they owe, including the one you brought up. I mean, this is not a pretty story at all. I do want to agree with Ed, and I think that there should be not only prosecution, I think there needs to be prosecution along the lines at least of what you see at airports, where every few months you see a story about somebody who makes a stupid joke about hijacking or a bomb or something like that.
Or the bomb threat we heard about earlier tonight in Miami.
They get prosecuted for felony, disorderly conduct, or for falsely making a terrorist threat. We should have at least as much security at the front door of the White House as we do at your local airport.
And we should point out that if it is found that they did in fact lie to a federal agent, that is a federal crime. So there could be a federal charge there. Coming back, though, to the security angle, I would imagine that this is probably something that won't happen again based on what did happen. But what's going on, Ed, inside the White House right now? What are the conversations that are happening?
I have to tell you, from the Secretary of Homeland Security to the head of the Secret Service, they have been meeting nonstop since about 11 o'clock of the night of this dinner. And there are people who are going to be fired, and there are people who basically have their careers ruined. I disagree with you only in the sense that the White House has extraordinary security. And if there's any place that you need to have all the security in the world, it's there, and they do have it there. This was some breakdown in their system, and obviously people are going to pay a price. But the reputation, equally as important, the reputation. Can you imagine what the Indian government has to be saying when you come here and the Secret Service or the State Department take over the protection of your president, you force them aside, and you say someone can walk in and come up who doesn't even have a Social Security card on record?
Some people have said, oh, you know what, they made it by the magnetometers, they were fine, they didn't have anything with them. Is there a reason to be so seemingly cavalier?
The security at the White House has to be stronger than the airports, obviously, and it has been traditionally. I went to a White House party once in my life, and there was a background check done on me 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. So, you know, how do the people get there with just some paper and fake it? I don't understand.
And that's one of the major questions. I mean, anytime you try to go to the White House, you're not getting in without giving your birth date, your social security number.
I mean, and even associated things. I mean, the inauguration was a nightmare. Sure. It was pretty tough going even at the convention, frankly. But I've been to the White House for some press stuff, and yeah, you got to give them the social security number. And I mean, sort of what Ed's getting at, I think, is important, is that the mystique is an important part of the security. The reality is we don't know what they do, but they have...
and there's a reason we don't know.
There is. I mean, it wouldn't be a Secret Service, right? But they've gone from mystique to mistake, and something has gone terribly wrong. There are going to be congressional hearings. I hope that they're going to really change everything from top to bottom.
A lot of people hoping that tonight as well. We'll continue to follow it. We're not done with you gentlemen yet. Going to talk a little Afghanistan when we come back with our panel. Stay with us.
Dick Buck is here?
Oh, yeah, I hired him to speak. A lot of Fortune 500 companies use him.
But I'm your only employee.
We're going to start using FedEx to ship globally. That means billions of potential customers. We're going to be huge.
Good morning. You know, business is a lot like football.
I'm sorry, Dick Buckus.
We understand your business could use a pep talk. Visit FedEx.com/pep talk.
They've done it again. DirecTV will soon have the capacity for over 200 HD channels.
Oh, for a second there, I thought you said 200.
I did.
Son of a... What is it with those guys?
Now get our best price until 2011. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
CNN Next. Campbell Brown, a voice of reason. Brown's reporting is worth cheering. Campbell Brown, your 8 p.m. alternative. CNN Next.
Oprah Winfrey presents The Color Purple.
Push the button. Push the button.
The story you love. The must-see musical event. A once-in-a-lifetime experience. Don't miss The Color Purple.
The Color Purple is a metro area exclusive at New Jersey Performing Arts Center. Call 1-888-GO-NJPAC or visit njpac.org.
There's nothing like a family get-together during the holidays. Good food, fun, and a little sibling rivalry. Introducing the Cadillac Season's Best event. For attractive offers on all Cadillac models, see your dealer for details.
Visit CadillacTristate.com to find a dealer near you.
5739.
CNN Tuesday night, President Obama on Afghanistan. Special coverage starts at 7.
Back now with our guests, we'll tackle a little Afghanistan before we let them head out for the weekend. Errol, I want to start with you. The president on Tuesday saying he, and I'm quoting here, intends to finish the job in Afghanistan. Very strong words. His actions, though, as we're learning more about them, are those equally as strong?
I think so. I mean, listen, McChrystal wanted 40,000 troops. He's going to get 30,000 from the U.S. from what we're hearing, and another 10,000 perhaps from the allies. The military will not be able to say the president shortchanged them. He's given them everything they wanted. He's going in a very decisive direction that many members of his party are against. There's been a spate of talk from liberal Democrats saying that they want the U.S. out of there.
And that's an important point. How is that, Miguel, going to affect his strategy heading forward, that there is this dissent within his own party?
Very difficult speech that he has to deliver on Tuesday. How does he sell this not only to his own party but to the American people? He has been taking a long time in making this decision, which gives us the impression that he's been reluctant about going in further into Afghanistan. So now, if he is going to go in, how does he convince people around the world that he's really behind this? A clear mission he needs, and he has to outline a clear mission.
Right, clear mission, a clear message. What does that message have to include?
Well, first of all, his own party's at war over the health care, and he's going to create more chaos. The bottom line is this has purpose. This war has purpose. I've put men and women in jeopardy, and we'll get them out of there, but we'll make it a better place. He's got to depend on bipartisan support from Republicans. Democrats aren't going to be there for a long time.
All right, Ed Rollins, Miguel Perez, Errol Lewis, good to have all of you with us tonight. And thanks to all of you for joining us on CNN Tonight, America Hill. Stay with us. I'll be back in just a moment, actually, with some new developments for you in the Tiger Woods car crash, as well as a Campbell Brown Investigates special that's just ahead.